What's up, guys? This is Underground Outsiders, and today I'm with.
Two fucking colors, great gang, yeah. What up?
How you doing?
I'm drinking lemon water,
As you
so
should.
I'm doing all right.
As you
I
should.
feel like I have a sunstroke. I've been spending 2 fucking hours distributing my album because my distributor, that's what I'm supposed to say, sucks. But my album's coming out, so it doesn't matter.
So, who's your distributor right now?
Like I'm gonna tell my competition that. Yeah. No, my distributor is 1RPM. It's free, but like it sucks. Basically, if you want cheap but like mind-numbing and so specific that how you distribute a fucking album or a single, 1RPM is for you, dude. The only reason why I've been using 1RPM for so long is quite literally it does everything for me, but because of that, it's like an abusive mother because it needs you to do every other thing very specifically to the task, and if it's not, it's gonna fucking beat the shit out of you and ground you for like 5 days. As
Oh my
in,
God.
make something like uploading a track take 3 hours. So yeah.
So, like, for people that don't know, like, why does it take so long for you to like distribute your album?
So my album is 16 tracks long, and usually what it is 1RPM demands like a lot of high quality stuff, like every distributor does. The problem, of course, is it is very, 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 very specific about how it's mastered, how it's mixed, the artists involved. If you are like me and you have a bunch of producer friends, but like 1RPM is all about credits, which is a good thing. They want you to really like credit the people that you're working with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to go through the process of uploading 16 fucking tracks in a row, it'll take a 2 or 1 minute song and make it like 3-5 minutes just to upload, get all the credits done, the lyrics, how explicit are the lyrics, is it just instrumental, all this fucking shit. And then on top of that, they'll even go an extra minute of processing, right? So quite literally, with my jank ass fucking laptop, I could upload, and I have uploaded an entire 16 track fucking album. No unlimited SoundCloud. Like the limit is there, right? But I could literally take that shit out in less than, I don't know, like what, 5-10 minutes? Whereas 1RPM takes an hour and a half. And literally I've just done. It took me an hour and a half to distribute that fucking shit and wait, like, and then I gotta wait. That's the thing. Once you distribute it, you have to wait, what is it, 4 or 5 days for Spotify, I think like 2 days for Deezer or whatever bullshit that no one really cares about, and then like 4 weeks for any other store. I think there's something specific for Apple Music, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's like shit like that, basically. Yeah.
So, damn, you seem very frustrated about that.
Dude, honestly, I have maxed out all of my talent in just making the music. I can't fucking distribute or promote it to save my life, dude. Like, it's funny because I'm probably like the golden example of like an artist that needs a label, but I fucking hate labels, so.
Why do you hate labels so much?
So obviously before I'm not gonna really say anything that's gonna like get anybody in trouble, but all I'm gonna say is I've seen the practices here and there of certain labels that are just not that great, and plus, like, you know, even before anything, I mean, you've heard it all the time about how labels fuck over people because in the contract they'll do some shady shit about masters, and if you don't own the masters, you're basically like the label slave. All of that is pretty much true. All of that is true and worse, at least from like experiences. I've heard about it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I've only heard about it. I don't know anyone specifically that's ever had a problem with labels. Just, I've only heard about it. But from the rumors, it's like, I don't really want to fucking deal with them. You know what I mean? It's like, I kind of like being responsible for my own fuck-ups. So if I flop an album, or if I don't sell as well, if I don't do anything, all that falls on me. And I'm the one that has to pick up my own shit. If I'm part of a record label, the record label is going out of their way so that you give them money, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. If they're making an investment into you, but the investment flops and it's not like giving them any money in return, that's when they're in purgatory with you, dude. You're gonna be in purgatory with them. You're either gonna get
pun
dropped,
intended.
you're gonna get what? Yeah, no pun intended, dude. Yeah. So that's what I mean. So it's like maybe my mind will change if I have like, I don't know, a really good lawyer to read a fucking contract in the future or whatnot. But as of right now, dude, I'm just, grinding. I'm just chasing my dreams and whatnot. And plus, I do think it's kind of dumb for any artist to get signed up with any record label if they don't even have a decent following already, because record labels will discriminate and will go accordingly with how hype you already have, right? So for a good example, if Lil Darky was signed to a record label, right, they wouldn't fuck with it at all. They barely would probably touch a finger on that guy because he already has a market that works. He's already doing so much on his own, from what I know. I don't know if he's part of a record label or not, but it seems like Spider Gang is like their own self-produced thing, right? So if they were picked up by a record label, I'm guaranteeing you that record label would fucking get on their knees and treat them like gods, right? Because of how well they market already on their own. For someone like me, not so much, not at all. In fact, if they even go out of their way to acknowledge me, it's probably just so they could fuck me over if I ever do catch like a buzz, you know what I mean? Like, at least that's my mind, but yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's why I don't fuck with labels.
Yeah. So, for those who don't know, who are you and what do you do?
Well, my name is Krimson Graey, 2 fucking colors. I make music, although there's a lot of aspirations I'm still trying to do. It's just taking me a long time to do it because life is a bitch post-COVID.
Indeed.
I'm trying to write a book. I would like to get into voice acting at some point. So hey, if there's any like weirdo fucking video game company, whatever, or whoever the fuck, and you want me to voice act, dude, I don't even care. I'll do like some weird fucking like ASMR shit for you if you really want. Whatever helps you sleep at night. And what else do I do? Well, I'm trying to make videos essentially. I am playing a lot of music videos, obviously, for my album.
Yeah.
But primarily, I would like to do like maybe video essays. I've already like tweaked around with that shit, and Yami Sin is someone that's helping me with video editing, so that's quite a lot to learn, and it's a pretty good like process for me.
Yeah.
But really, I think I'm only going to be primarily known for making music. That's about it. Just making music, you know.
So like, what made you want to get into like doing voice acting?
Honestly, when I was a kid, I literally just kept making fucking like voices when I was a child. Like whenever I played Ocarina of Time, I would just like take butter knives out of the kitchen, just go hi-ya! Like just fucking swinging knives and shit in my fucking kitchen. And my parents would like take this as a hostage situation because half the time they thought I had like real knives and shit. So I always thought that was funny. I thought that was really fucking hilarious to me. So I kept doing it. And then eventually when I got too old for that shit, it was just like, just funny impressions where I would just make fun of people, not like in a mean way, but like make fun of celebrities and like have fun with like making little jokes with that.
Yeah.
And I think in general with like anime, cartoons, all that shit, I just always loved how over the top and theatrical villain voices were. You know, I just think it's something that I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's something that you could appreciate where if you really sat down and think about how this person had to literally sit down and make a voice and be consistent for hours and hours reading a script, right? probably doing like maybe 20 takes, depending on how fucking anal the fucking directors are about that shit, then you probably know that it's like, dude, this guy had to be that passionate to do a funny voice, like, yeah, say, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like that, just that weird fucking shit. And plus, let's be real here, dude. Mark Hamill is the realest motherfucker compared to anyone else takes inspiration.
I was just about to ask you, who's your favorite voice actor?
Fucking Mark Hamill, dude. 100%. I love his Joker. I just love his personality. I think he's like one of those voice actors and actors in general that, from what I've seen, he's just a dude. Like, you know what I mean? He never lets fame get to him, or like in a way to where people, I mean, obviously people lionize him and people like, oh my God, it's Mark Hamill. But it's more like Mark Hamill never lets that shit just change how he is as a person. You know what I mean? So that's one of my favorite voice acting inspirations. Another one, I'm trying to think. I'm really bad with names, but I hope you know who I'm talking about.
Just say the character. I'm probably gonna know who the character is rather than the voice actor.
Okay. How about? Okay. Let me think. All right. You watch Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah, of course.
The main character, Spike.
Spike? I forgot his name.
Yeah, but you know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Dude, his voice is so soothing. It's so cool. I fucking love his voice, dude.
Yeah.
Really good, like, dumb voice actor. Of course, Matthew Mercer, especially because he's in the, like, D&D now, like, critical role and shit like that as the voice actor, which is pretty cool. So I think Matt Mercer's pretty good. Mary McGlynn, but she's not really... Is she a voice actor? I know she's an actor, like she's been in plays, but she's more so a singer. But I still kind of count her as like a acting influence and like a musical instrument. So, yeah, I don't know. Mike, not a voice actor from my knowledge, but Michael C. Hall is also one of my favorite actors. Like, the guy from Dexter, the show.
Dexter? Shit.
Yeah.
I heard of this show, but I never watched it before.
Dude, you should, man. It's a really good show, especially since I think it's coming back, which is a good thing. Yeah. I think outside of that, probably the voice actor that is synonymous with Batman, just like Mark Hamill. I forgot his name. I think it's like Conroy or some shit. Like
Connor some shit. I forgot his name.
Yeah. But the guy who he kind of talks like this a lot, like that guy. I can't do his voice because he's like older, has a way lower pitched voice. But yeah. So a lot of those voices, they kind of like, I wouldn't say like they're the only inspirations, but they're definitely the ones that come to mind as of right now that I just think are really cool. Like I grew up on them. They kind of got me into thinking, wow, like this character is like a straight up person, and also, like I said earlier, just the dedication into these voices that you hear all the time. Like after each episode, once you really digest how long it probably took to make that episode, whew, dude, that's what I mean, man. I fucking love people that are about that shit, no matter what it is. It could be voice acting, it could be sound design, engineering, producing. I fucking respect the shit out of people that do anything with like audible stuff. I'm really into like audible fucking stuff a lot. Yeah.
Alright, so how did you get the name Krimson Graey?
Okay. So this is gonna be really corny, but when I came up with the name a long time ago, when I was really depressed and a shithead, I only came up with that name because I was in a weird phase where I really didn't like my legal name. I didn't really like my legal name because I kind of had like this weird existential crisis about how much like I felt I was nobody, and I felt like I was only just a walking body with someone's name that they applied to me, right? Like someone else gave me my legal name. I was never able to give me my own name. And I wanted so bad to be like my own person, but I felt like I wasn't. So Krimson Graey was kind of like, okay, what would my soul name be? As corny as that sounds. And so What Krimson means, I take the K out of like, my real life name, and then I put it into crimson, and it's the color of my soul, right? So I'd kind of define myself as the color blood and what it means. If you actually look up the meaning of colors, it's really deep about how colors culturally are synonymous with a lot of like emotions. So with Crimson, it was like fucking, I don't know, like passion, I think rage, violence, and of course, just love, charity, like all these things. It's like a duality of being passionate in the most negative way and the most positive way. So that's what I felt like defined me. I was like, well, yeah, like, I'm a pretty angry guy at times. I'm a pretty loving guy at times. I can't really be one or the other. I've tried. I just am this way. I could be a toxic piece of shit, or I could be the most charitable, considerate human being as possible. And I'll literally lay my life down in front of someone. And then meant they get to see another day and they could be happy. So that's what Crimson means. Gray, like Graey? Yeah, that's me combining the American and British spelling of gray into one thing, where it's supposed to be duality of both purgatory and poverty. Because if you look at the letters of purgatory and poverty, it's the duality of A and E.
Yeah.
And thus, that's how I view the world. It's in this view where purgatory and poverty is something that everyone lives through in life, whether it be the purgatory of your soul, the poverty of real life. We all are defined by both physical, material things and spiritual, existential things, right? I'll give you an example. As much as people might be religious and churchgoers, how many times are they willing to really focus on their faith in God when they got to get the bag, right? With how much they got to get money at the end of the day, right? Like, we believe in our religions and our spiritualities, but we also have to concede that at the end of the day, we're going to probably listen to what is the material, physical need right then and there at a temporary moment, right? And it's like this back and forth versus, do we focus on temporary pleasures or needs, or do we go the long game and go this whole spiritual route where we might be homeless, we might be starving, we might be going through a whole lot of shit, but we'll be a lot happier, right? What are we willing to sacrifice, and what aren't we willing to, fucking pay the toll with? So yeah, that's pretty much what Gray is all about. It's pretty much, what path do you choose type of thing.
So how did you end up making music?
My friends, musing got me to make wasn't my first song? Was it my first song? I think it was my first official song. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Music got me to making King.Life with him, which was our first song. And I said it before, but I'll say it again. It's not my best performance. I mean, it's my first song, so it's whatever. But yeah, music got me into making music. Then my producer friends all helped mix and produce for me, and still have to this day. In fact, for this whole album, literally one of my OG producer friends, Relive Reactions, had a lot to do with the instrumentation, the production. The only other person or people that really put a lot of emphasis besides Relive is obviously Human Like and Hales from the Yukio Incentive. But yeah, those guys, if it wasn't for them teaching me how to record, what DAWs to use, especially how to get into mixing, because for this very first album, I mixed all my shit myself. The only thing I really did not mix, of course, is the beats. And I think for Hales' feature on this album, he mixed his own stuff, but I was able to make it so it both me and his blended together. But yeah, all of that type of help, that is why I'm really, really, really passionate about producers. Because if it wasn't for those producers, if it wasn't for Musin, who at this point is a DJ for Tala, I probably wouldn't fucking be here. I really wouldn't be able to make an album. I really wouldn't be anywhere, really. And I think that's why, like, again, just always, if you got a producer for life, dude, if you got a mixer for life, you better cherish the fuck out of them, dude, because 9 out of 10, they're more talented than your ass could ever be. And that's just what I've learned.
So was this like your first experience, like mixing your own album by yourself?
It was. I feel like I'm gonna give a bad answer because I don't know how people. I would still call myself at best very, 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 very like, you know, amateur to intermediate with a lot of help. But what I can say is on my own, from my own like victories, where I didn't need to ask my producer friends, my mixer friends, you know, sound engineers and whatnot, hey, you know, how do I do this and how I do that? It felt like playing a puzzle game that I could actually play and fucking like achieve, you know? That's what it feels like. It feels like you're playing a game, like a puzzle game, that requires a lot of attention to detail, a lot of like time and effort and thought, because you're not just focusing on how well your vocals sound to the track. You're actually focusing, at least with how I'm going about this album, you're focusing on the overall theme, like audibly, like what is the mixing style for the entire album, right? Like what is the theme that when you tell a story and you say certain things or go certain ways with certain vocals, why is it for this story you're telling? And so for me, mixing my own vocals for my first concept album, you know, that's telling a story, it was very important for me to learn what was the mixing technique to really illustrate a distinct sound from a certain point of view of a character that I was playing in my vocals when I was screaming, singing, rapping, all that kind of shit, right? I had to really like solve the puzzle piece on that. And once I solved it, it felt natural. It fit like a glove, you know? It's I guess to put it in more layman's terms, it's like building your first PC, right? Like your own computer.
Yeah.
You get to learn and appreciate all the parts it takes to build that fucking computer, right?
Oh shit, you're done?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was no, I was taking a swig of water.
All right, it's
But yeah.
cool. All right, so what kind of music did you grow up listening to?
First thing, System of a Down. I grew up listening to System of a Down. In fact, if anyone really spends enough time talking to me, they'll know that a lot of my influences vocally is like very theatrical, from like Serge Tonkin. I think Damon Malakin, is that his fucking name? I hope. I always get confused with Darren or Damon. I think it's Damon, but I'll say Damon. Damon Malakin from Scars on Broadway. And then I got into Cursive at 14, which is like it's like an indie hardcore band with emo influences, but it's fucking experimental and crazy half the time, because a lot of their older works was like distortion with orchestral instruments. They take like a piano and just fucking make like a violent sound with it, just distort the shit out of it. That take violins, like, you know how a violin sounds, like, right?
Yeah.
And they go, like, you know what I mean? Like, they just go fucking insane about that shit. And you can find a lot of these, like, examples with specifically one track, Cursive, excerpts from various notes strewn around. It's like a really long-ass title. It's like excerpts from various notes strewn all around a bedroom in 1990 something. That's like literally the whole title.
What the fuck?
It's honestly the weirdest title in the world, but the song is even more crazier and more bizarre and more fucking insane. And I love it because it basically talks about like a love obsession with someone who got dumped for cheating on that person with a bunch of like, you know, it's 2021, so I can't say a certain word, but I'll just say very, very free women. Okay, a bunch of very free women. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. That's essentially what the song's about. But at the end of the song, it has like this very toxic undertone, where it's kind of like The Weeknd's, where like a lot of their songs are very angelic and beautiful, but it has a really dark, toxic like theme with its lyrics about like a really toxic guy that just manipulates and uses women and shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of what the song is about. It's like at the very end, it's like, oh, don't worry, you know, even though I fucking cheat on you and all this stuff, for just this one Valentine, we could be together. It's like, dude, it's so fucking, dude, yeah, it's, dude, yeah. Tim Kasher, the vocalist, is his major theme in all of his band like work has been just adultery and failure to be in commitments. So, yeah. But yeah, Cursive I grew up on, very, very big influence. Then I kind of went from there to 16. Duran and Grey, Japanese metal.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was shown this band from a friend of mine in school. And at first I was like, oh, what? I don't even know what the fuck they're saying, dude. Like, I don't care. But then it took me like a couple listens, and it was specifically during a summer where I was reading like this school book, right? And I just fell in love from there because of how much the songs were actually healing. They actually helped me in a way to go through a lot of shit like bullying, you know, a lot of domestic issues, stuff like that. And even though I didn't know what the fuck they were saying, I knew whatever the singer Kyo was singing was spiritual, it was existential, it was very potent. And so I just kind of went on a huge dive into English translated lyrics of his on YouTube, on forums, and online, and all of it's pure poetry. Like if you take the time to like look up Dorian Gray stuff and lyrics or whatever, you're gonna find a lot of like very poetic shit, and just especially with how Kyo is a very performative artist. He's literally a performance artist. He's someone that even if his voice is shot out and he's not hitting the notes right, he's gonna give a show because he's gonna be cutting himself, he's gonna be punching his face in. He's really gonna like show a lot of crazy shit about how the song portrays a certain anguish and turmoil and pain from the soul, as well as the opposite, as well as, you know, the beauty and freeing emotion of finally, you know, achieving peace, achieving tranquility, achieving whatever it takes. But usually Kyo falls into the ballpark of showing a dark place as sort of like a yin yang, where it's like you go through a dark tunnel to reach the light. So yeah, that's a big influence from that. And then I want to say around 17, I got into Tupac, and that's when I got into hip hop. That's when I got into rap. And at 17, you know, that was when a lot of very, very crazy shit happened. I lost a friend to suicide, and that was pretty personal. And Tupac was the only rapper that made me cry from the song Shed So Many Tears. You know, I did not think I could find someone that I could relate to as an artist about poverty that wasn't glorifying it in the genre of hip hop. Because when I was 17, about hip hop at the time, very, very, very ignorant. You know, the lines back in elementary, I thrived on misery, left me alone, I grew up amongst a dying breed. That shit, bro, that shit hit me deep. That shit hit me so fucking deep, because it's like, at least where I live, it's not like Compton or whatever, but it's basically a bunch of dudes or a bunch of kids that grew up on drugs, single parent households, and just became suicidal and fucking drug addled. And half of them, I literally know like half of all my friends or old friends, they're either in rehab, either tried to kill themselves at one point, or are in fucking therapy, are in a mental institution or some shit. And yeah, man, that type of pain that Tupac could relate to me, even though it's obviously from a very, very, it's from a very different place in America entirely. I think that's the type of magic that you need in music, regardless if it's hip hop, metal, or even me, where I'm just fucking, I don't know, I'm in between. I don't give a fuck. Uh, and from there, of course, that's where I went to XXX That's where he showed me I could do both. I could be both, showing my post-hardcore metal influences and hip hop, and people would still fucking think it's awesome. So yeah, that's all the shit I really grew up on.
Yeah. So, do you have any embarrassing moments of when you first started making music?
Oh, a lot. If you're an artist and you take your craft seriously, there will never not be an embarrassing moment. I'm telling you that right now, dude. Like, the thing that I think is heavy, I don't want to call out people, but what I'll say is any artist that's out there that like does the whole I don't give a fuck, LOL, I just make shit and I get this and that, you're fucking corny, dude. You're so fucking corny because you know damn well you give enough of a fuck to get the top fucking mixer, to get the top producer, to make the heaviest flow. You trained and trained and trained, and you give off this bitch fucking facade like you don't give a shit about your own music, you don't give a shit about this and that. When someone says you're corny, when someone says you're trash, when someone even goes as far as to put your song in a cringe playlist or a cringe compilation, bro, bro, I don't care who the fuck you are as an artist, you at one point had an embarrassing moment with a song because you thought it was lit, you put it out there, and then you come out to find that this song, instead of like, wait, yeah, how would I want? Like, you know what I mean? Like 2 days apart, you went from, oh, this is the hardest song in the world to, yeah, this song, I didn't really try. It was, I don't care, bro. Like, nah, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I think everyone's gonna have an embarrassing moment, and for me, a lot of times it was just experimenting, like I still do, throwing my shit out there, and it just doesn't stick. It's corny, it comes off that way, and yeah, that's usually like why I delete a lot of my shit half the times, because I go back, even if it gets a lot of likes and views, it doesn't really matter, because I'll just see them like, dude, I could do better. Like, I could do a lot better. You literally look on SoundCloud of all my collabs, or most of my collabs, are Art Kixin for Socksues. And even on Socksues, dude, I have a feature, I'm not going to say which, that I wish was deleted. I wish it was gone. But yeah, it's just... No one's ever going to be making music and always hitting and never missing. You're gonna miss. If you're not gonna miss on your first 2, 3, 4 tracks, you're gonna miss at the 5th one for sure.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned.
So, what am I trying to say? Fuck. Give me a second.
What are you trying to say, dude? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm okay. Alright. Would you say like the challenges you face growing up influence your music in any way?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
And the ways to where I emotionally cannot understand certain things, as well as just how my music comes off as deranged, over the top, psychotic. Like, really, I don't know how to describe this besides like that, really, yeah, because, growing up, I didn't really grow up, a lot of it was, how I put it, my life was like a fishbowl, but instead of like just being a nice little goldfish, like, just swimming around, having a good time, I was a goldfish in a fishbowl full of piranhas. So I was in a very strange, reclusive life, but a life of trauma. And I think because of that, that's why, like, however old I become, I'm just not as mature as a lot of my other peers. And if I am, it's usually about other shit that they're not mature about. Like, how a lot of times you get people who are adults on paper, but emotionally and mentally they're just fucking kids.
Yeah.
Like, they might as well just be like wearing a pacifier while they're in the driver's seat or some shit to work. Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite of that, where I think emotionally and mentally, I've grown up a lot from being in those really horrific environments and situations. But physically on paper, I have a lot to do to really grow up as a man, you know? And I'll admit it because, you know, everyone struggles at their own pace, especially now in post-COVID America. So, yeah, man, I think my music really, it's, my music can only be my music because I, as the painter, am how I am. You get what I mean?
Yeah. So like, fuck, gotta collect my thoughts. I was gonna ask you a good ass question, but I forgot. I'm gonna come back to it though. All
Yeah,
right.
you can come back to it. Put it in the archive, dude.
Yeah. So, how did you end up getting to the underground scene?
Musin, like I said, he really introduced me to trap metal when X was around, like 2017, 2018. And, you know, at first I didn't get it. At first it was like, oh, well, this guy is just kind of yelling over a beat. I mean, it's kind of hard, but I don't like. And the first song I was introduced about X was, I think, Sipping Tea in Your Hood. I think that's the song. And I was like, I mean, this is okay. It's not really my jam. But then I listened to Willy Wonka Was a Child Murderer. But when I listened to that song and I realized it was the same artist, I'm like, yo, wait, hold the fuck up. What? Like, because that shit, that was just straight up, like, post-hardcore. That wasn't even rap. Like, you know, that was just, X was fucking going crazy with genre switches. So it took me that to really be like, okay, let's look at the trap metal. What the fuck? What else is this? So, you know, I look at a lot of X's discography. Obviously, he's my favorite, but I also look into, you know, Scarlord. I think at the time, I don't know if Zodiac even does trap metal anymore, but he did the Kaioken times 187.
Yeah.
That was fucking insane.
Yeah, he used to do it a lot, but he stopped. Like
Yeah,
early in his
that.
career, he used to do a lot of trap metal.
Yeah. Then I think it was obviously, you know, Ghostmain. I hear a lot about, although I'm not really into Ghostmain, even though I keep getting fucking compared to Ghostmain like all the time.
How you don't?
Which is
You don't?
weird.
You don't sound anything like him.
I don't know, dude. People, I think it's like whenever someone like actually does something that is metal inspired with trap, and they can actually like do something decent with it, they're just like, oh, you're Ghostmain, bro. You're Ghostmain. It's like, no, dude, it's not. Like, I actually grew up on this shit. Like, that's the only thing that might be similar between me and him, because I know Ghostmain, he definitely is like, he grew up on metal. Like, you know what I mean? I definitely know he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely Ghostmain. Even though it's, oh man, honestly, in terms of the underground, even though a lot of people are gonna get on my fucking case about like comparing this anywhere close to trap metal, Januskus and JPEG Mafia are really, really, really awesome, like underground experimental artists. Like especially Januskus.
Yeah.
You know, I think at this point, everyone could agree that they've heard JPEG Mafia, right? Like, he used to be really heavily underrated, but now I think he's getting to the mainstream a bit. So I'm focusing my love now on Januskus. I gotta give him a fair shake, because my man Januskus and Spider Gang, dude, he is heavily slept on, dude.
Yeah.
Heavily slept on, bro. He is so fucking insane, man.
Why do you think he's so slept on? Because like, obviously the most popular rappers out of the group is like Lil Darky, who else? A14, and it's like those are the two I always see getting a lot of praise. But like Januskus, I don't really see him getting a lot of praise compared to those two.
It's
in particular.
I could give you the only thing I could say, and this is just from my perspective, my goggles. It's because he's creating a fan base. He's not obtaining one.
Yeah.
Right. While Lil Darky is very interesting and unique in a way, he does pull from conventional sounds that already exists and already has a bunch of fans. Januskus, he's going from such a fringe corner that he's kind of cultivating his own fan base by creating the sound for a fan base first, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not gonna claim and sit there and say that like Januskus is the only one that ever made this sound. No one's ever made a sound like him, because I mean, it's the fucking internet, bro. Someone somewhere else probably is doing the exact same shit as you did or have done, whatever, right? Like I get it. But with Januskus, I think he's the only one that really has done what he's done of the sound he's making that is actually like getting more of an influence more than just clout, right?
Yeah.
In the whole clout era of fucking bullshit, like I was so sick and tired of how much people focused on streams and views, because at the end of the day, it's like, well, are you even that influential? Like no one even like understood. Everyone had like fucking brain rot back then, you know, about like what influence fucking was, except for of course X, Denzel Curry, like all these other fucking like artists, right? And I think with Januskus, he's on the same wave, right? This is not like, oh, Lil Darky isn't influential. He is. He very much is. All of Spider Gang is very influential. But Januskus specifically, I think he has an influence that in the long game is going to be eternal. It's going to live for a long, like it's going to be basically immortal.
Yeah.
Right? And I think even he knows that. Whether he wants to admit it or not, I think he fucking knows that. That's why he's still making music. Otherwise, he just wouldn't. You know?
So, why do you think Spider Gang in particular like blew up more than other collectives?
See, I don't know, because I'm not like, I don't know every nuance or every exact history of like all the artists except Januskus or Lil Darky, but from what I could say, I think it's honestly a combination of how, for example, you know Brockhampton, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like how Brockhampton kind of blew up, right? Where it's a bunch of these artists, they have synergy, they're very much like on the same wavelength, and they don't compromise no matter what, but they also have they have a raw sound that cultivates into conventional means that really people appreciate on a very deep level, because not a lot of artists can pull that raw type of sound that Lil Darky can, you know, that Januskus can. I've heard maybe like 2 things of A14, but I definitely think he can too.
Yeah.
You know, even Broadman God, whatever, right? And I think it's also the way that they market themselves. I think too many times artists kind of like play it way too safe, where they're just kind of like a brand image, and that's all like their likability is the brand.
Yeah.
So if anything comes out to cancel them, they're done. They're fucked, bro. Like they're just gone, right? But Lil Darky, literally his namesake and everything he represents, he already canceled himself. So you can't really cancel someone who's literally out there to piss you off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, his whole brand is that if you're offended, that's what he wants, because he wants you to understand like why you're pissed. He wants you to ask yourself, why am I so pissed at this person? So that's what I think makes Spider Gang so big, is that they're uncancelable, they're unfuckable, and they're just a tight-knit group that really at the end of the day, they're all about the craft, and they don't give a fuck what you say no matter what happens. That's basically it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of groups that have that loyalty. I guarantee you put any type of case or allegation against any collective out there that isn't Spider Gang, they fall apart, bro. Spider Gang had a fucking allegation, if I remember correctly. I don't know what artist, whatever, but I remember there was like an allegation on one of those members. As far as I know, I think the artist is still in there. And you know what? For the situation at hand, I'm not there to judge, because you know what? I don't look at artists as a fucking moral arbiter. I just listen to their music and I'm good. When, like, you know, I feel like too many times people are demanding people to be morally upright citizens in music. But the problem is, it's like we don't have a morally upright society. How are you going to expect an artist that literally failed conventionally in life to be exactly what public school wanted them to be but they chase their dreams to be an artist, to have like agreeable moral conventions like you. It's just such a weird thing to assume out of an artist, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the history of how many famous artists have been outed for way worse shit. You know, you got Chris Brown, you got Michael Jackson, you know what I mean? You have so many artists. I could keep, even X was accused of being the most abusive fucking person. But you know what? Even if he did or didn't, I wouldn't judge his character that way, because at the end of the day, dude, we live in a world that isn't without sin. We live in a world that is literally drenched in that shit, bro. Everyone has done evil. Everyone has done evil. It's just a matter of what you're willing to do with your soul to forgive yourself and seek redemption. That's it, man. Whatever evil you've done, you just gotta make right with it and move on.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it is. So that's why I think Spire Gang is a really great group. They don't really play that type of bullshit game. They don't play Hollywood. They play themselves, and they do it well.
Yeah. So, in some of your songs, you discuss how America could be extremely corrupt. What are your overall thoughts on the spike of police shootings recently?
It's very predictable.
Yeah.
But it's sad because it's like it's getting cartoony at this point. How much like police cases just keep fucking happening. And listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, man. But
Yeah.
you can't fucking tell me that in the wake of the Chauvin case, right? The whole George Floyd thing, that we had, what was it? 1, 2, 3, what was it? 4 fucking police brutality cases in the fucking week? What the fuck? We had, what was it? Adam Toledo, the 13-year-old, gets shot. We had, what was it? That one 25-year experienced fucking police bitch that couldn't figure out what a taser was versus a gun. Like,
did you see the picture of the taser?
yeah, bro. How the fuck, dude? It's like we keep going through this, and like I said, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but man, I'm getting to the point where it's like, bro, is this a setup, bro? It's like, is there like a cabal of people up in like the top table saying, well, you know what? America's having too much of a good time right now. They actually got a cop arrested, and everyone's celebrating, and this is quelling down, like, you know, all this tension, and there's no riots. Yeah, you know what? Let's have 5 police officers the same week kill some kids. Let's just like, dude, I swear to God, bro. I imagine this. If that stupid bitch of 25 fucking years experience gets, you know, arrested like Chauvin, if the guy that shot the fucking 13-year-old gets in the fucking bind or whatever, and America could agree again on like, oh wow, justice was served, I swear to God, bro, these fucking cartoon villains that rule the world are gonna do some dumb shit where it's like, you know what, let's have the SWAT team burn down an orphanage. I just feel like we're having too much of a good time. Like, we just burn down an orphanage. We need to kill these 18 kids. In fact, let's get icing on this. Let's go back to the border patrol, okay? Like, bro, I fucking hate this shit, bro. I hate this with all my fucking vigor, and it's like, man, I try my best to be bipartisan in certain things that I know is gonna only get me in trouble, and I'm just being irrational about, because when I say shit that I'm like being like vulgar and what was it, provocative, I'm being on purpose. I make sure I'm saying exactly what I need to say, exactly how it is, and making sure someone feels exactly what it's like. Okay? This situation has gotten so fucked. At this point, I'm sorry to say this, I understand if people out there that are listening to this or whatever are get mad at me, but I'm never gonna trust a cop in my fucking life at this current point. I just won't. I just fucking won't. Okay? It's not against all cops. It's not whatever. There's like, people are human. I get that. But as of right now, dude, you can't blame me when all the media is showing me is cop murders, cop murders, cop murders, cop murders. You can't blame me for being paranoid right now. I don't think anyone should be fucking feeling guilty for how paranoid they are of the police. I don't think anyone else ever should. So that's my thoughts on it, man.
So like in your music, like why do you sometimes like go for like a controversial like take because like some of your songs, I forgot what song it was called. I think it was called "Fuck Nintendo" or "Fuck Something." I forgot which one it was.
Yeah, I did make a song called "Fuck Nintendo."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, why do you? Fuck. What am I trying to say?
Why do I attack greasy Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
Like Smash Brothers.
All right, you can just go off on that. You can just go off on that.
Well, I mean, I always attack shit that I'm very passionate about. So it's like, I'm not. When I say fuck Nintendo, obviously the clickbait is me saying fuck the company. But really, in the lyrics, you can see that I'm attacking more of like the Smash Brothers community about a situation that occurred where Nintendo. They had the legal right to do this, but it was really fucked up what they did. Where there was this guy that was trying to do like a charity event where he took like a bunch of Joy-Cons and painted them and sold them out so that it could fuel the funds for a charity event about mental health awareness in the name of Etika. Now, if you know me, you know like all of my shit, you know that I made a tribute to Etika before he died called Joy-Con to Your Head. And the whole point of me making that song Joy-Con to Your Head was so Etika, before he died, rest in peace, could see it on stream. Of course, he never did, because 2 months later, he killed himself. So I felt very, very pissed off on a number of just on layers upon layers of wrong. It felt wrong for the fact that this is in the name of Etika and Nintendo, knowing that Etika was such an influential content creator of their products, of Smash Brothers and all this shit, which is fucking, gridlock slammed down this motherfucker without giving any other alternatives, any other options. It's not like they couldn't just do this legal situation where it's like, hey, you're selling products of ours, you can't do that, but since we're Nintendo, we could help you sponsor this charity event, right? They could have totally do that as a PR situation. They could have done that. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. They could have done that. They could have given this person an alternative, but they fucking did it. They fucking did it, right? And number two, it's just how jaded and docile, like, the consumer base of Nintendo are, where literally you had, like, I'm not gonna name these content creators because I don't think they're truly at fault. They're just kind of like doing what they're doing at the end of the day. But you had content creators making videos about Nintendo, about how like, oh wow, this company's a piece of shit. Look how much they've been fucking over their fan base for years. Look how they're doing the Melee because now they're banning the fucking internet application so that they can play Melee amidst COVID. And obviously, they took this example to the hill and said, yeah, dude, look, another bullshit that Nintendo's doing, right? But then Smash Brothers Ultimate, and the fucking week after, released a DLC of Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, and every fucking, like, nerdy 30-year-old man-child lost their fucking shit.
I think I've seen that.
They started sucking Nintendo's cock immediately for getting all this shit. And I'm just like, wow, dude. Wow, this is really how you guys act? Like, really? You guys want to claim you're like a fucking community? When, like, you don't even for, like, a charity, bro. I'm not even asking people to like, be activists about games they like. I'm just asking them, if you're gonna be bitching about this shit, if you're gonna be doing all this type of fucking like, oh yeah, Nintendo's such an evil corporation, I'm asking you to be consistent about how you feel. Keep the same fucking energy, no matter what the fuck is released, and actually force Nintendo to take responsibility. Because no matter what, man, listen, you could come at this angle from a pessimist view, saying, oh, well, a corporation's never going to need to listen, but at least try. If you really want to be a community that prides itself and caring about the things it's supposed to care about amidst a literal season of fucking pedophile predators in Smash Brothers, amidst whatever the fuck, right? Then you guys need to get your fucking shit together and be consistent about, hey, Nintendo, you fucked up. You should just shut down a charity event, even if it's legally like available for you to do that. You should, contribute to the charity of mental health awareness, so that way we know you care about people. That you're not like a greedy, empty, vacuous fucking corporation like every other that just wants to fuck over people. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel about fuck Nintendo. I felt like, dude, these people are like fucking dumb. These people are inconsistent. They're just fucking chasing bags. They don't even believe in half the shit they say. They don't believe in any of this shit, dude. Not a goddamn thing. So yeah, that's why I said fuck Nintendo.
So is there any new plans or goals for the future, or anything that your fans should be looking out for?
Well, obviously, outside the album coming in like 10 days from now, or for my 109 monthly listeners, that album might be coming a little bit early for you guys on Spotify. Honestly, I'm probably not going to release any other project until the end of 2021. And the only reason why is because this album took me 6 fucking months straight to make. It's 16 tracks, and a lot of it had to be overhauled, done over again and again and again, because of just how much I needed to decide what part of the album was to tell a story, what part of it was to be musical and very just like, very much just showcasing my evolution and where I'm going, and how much of it was just to be music, just to be entertaining, just to be hip, just to, what I mean? I really wanted to attack from all angles, and to do that, no matter how well this album does or doesn't, I'm proud of this fucking bitch, and I want people to take a whole year to listen to this shit, because I am not going to release another goddamn thing until I know every motherfucker that's claimed to say fuck with me listened to it not once, twice, if not thrice, bro. You gotta listen to that bitch over and over, because how long it took me to make that bitch, I listened to it way more making it on my own for 6 fucking months. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I feel about it, man. I feel really proud of it. I feel really happy. And I actually have a good feeling from all the support and love I have been getting just randomly just this month, just last month. It might honestly peak, and if it doesn't, in views, well, at least I know there's a lot of people interested, right? And that's all I can really say. So I really appreciate all the love and support that I have been getting for this transition, because let's not fuck around, dude. I'm transitioning out. I am not going to be the same thing that like people, used to come at me for hype beast, controversial shit. Like I am in a way, but I'm not. I wanted to be more substance and conventional to a story narrative about, the soul, about the spirit, about all the things I have been talking about, all the things I do believe in, and not just focus on, petty dumb shit. I don't want to clickbait. I want to just have people click. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So is there anybody? All right. My bad. You could go.
No, you go. You go,
All right.
man. You could.
Is there anybody you want to shout out before the interview ends?
Here we go.
I know.
I gotta crack my neck. I gotta stretch. Dude, there's a lot of people to shout out. Alright. Woo! Here we go. Shout out Saksu, even though he's on a quick hiatus, because, he's my man, and he still loves and supports me. He's still my homie. Shout out Musin, best DJ ever. You should check out his DJ skills. His on fucking Paula. Check out his SoundCloud. Check out his whatever. You should check out Hales. That's HXLEZ on SoundCloud, Spotify. Really great producer, beautiful voice, probably the most angelic. He's gonna be like the next SoundCloud Michael Jackson, bro. I'm telling you, you gotta fucking peep him out. Yami Sin, fucking shout out him. He has always been a bro to me, always been able to help me out, got me into shit. Shout out Relive Reactions. They are the best producer, one of the best producers ever. Shout out Human Like. They're gonna be honestly making some jams with Yami Sen. It's gonna be the best thing ever. Let's see here, dude. I got a lot, dude. Holy fuck, I haven't scratched the surface. Shout out Pale Blood, who is a fan of mine, but actually produced a track for this album, like literally right before it was about to be finished. So thank you. Literally dopest person ever. They made a visualizer for me, so that way like I could just fucking upload the shit. Really supportive. And finally, the couple of shouts I'm gonna give. Shout No Bands, my homie, always talking about spirituality and life, and also they got the 10 Toes tournament coming out. We gotta get that shit up. They got let's see, they got, I don't know who they got, but I know they got some people. They got some good ass people. Shout out the artists, Empty Flower 7, Laura Lai, I think that's her last name. I don't know. She's my Italian sister. Really cool artist friend of mine. She made most of the merch designs on my Teespring. So in case you guys really want to fuck with me and not just buy my shit off Bandcamp, go to Spotify, whatever, you can go to Teespring and buy some of my fucking merch there, man. Because honestly, 50% of all the stuff goes to her for her future and trying to be honestly a really dope artist. If you guys are into anime, you are gonna love her, dude. I'm telling you that right now. She's one of the best anime-based artists I've ever come across. Man, I am not gonna stop until I get everybody. So you better keep this interview long. Trying to think. Oh yeah. Shout out Risky and Shadow from Yukio Incentive. Even though we're on a quick hiatus, run up the fucking SoundCloud because that bitch is full of hot tracks. And shout out. Okay. I got it. Shout out Kill.Zero with the Death City tapes that just came out that I'm on. My name on there is Kitsune Gray, even though my artist name is Crimson Graey. It's confusing. I know I have like 2 different personalities. Don't worry about it. It's still me. Check that shit out. And check out Killing Yokai. That's my fucking ex-clone. Holy fuck. Shout out the dirt bike man down the street. And finally, shout out this man right here. Digital Underground, or what is that? Was that what it is? Underground. I called you Shock G on accident.
Wait, what? Were you talking about me?
Yeah, Digital Underground Outsiders.
That is.
You know why I accidentally called you Digital?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, what the fuck is he talking about?
You want to know why? It's because I just learned that Shock G died, and Digital Underground is like the group where Tupac actually like became famous from.
Yeah,
so I accidentally called you Shock G, basically.
Well, shout out Shock G,
yeah.
RIP.
Yeah, RIP Shock G, RIP Adam Toledo, because that's still fucked what happened to him, 13-year-old kid. Seriously, man, like I said, some shit's gotta change, because if not, we're gonna have another season of fucking flames. And honestly, dude, I don't think America's gonna handle it. So. Yeah, but on a more positive note, one final shout out, and this is the shout out to the viewers. If I was all over the place, if I was dumb, if I'm pea-brained, which I usually am, but you enjoyed my voice, you enjoyed Underground Outsiders, you enjoyed my man here, please subscribe, hit the like, comment below, call me cringe, call me whatever the fuck you want, or call me based if you really like my music, because hey man, I'm not gonna lie, my music ain't like anyone else's. Alright man.